Hey everybody, today is August 29th, 2018. In this video, we're going to look at a news story that was published today that came out of Orland Park, Illinois. And this story it's particularly interesting to me for a couple of reasons. And for me, this is something worth investigating as far as the organic matrix or whether the news is completely hoaxing us. Now, a lot of the times in my videos, I cover the deaths of celebrities, athletes, musicians, people who are famous. And we often speculate whether or not those people were murdered or if they died organically. And, of course, the third option is sometimes maybe these people aren't dying at all. They're just being removed from the world stage. Now, in this story, we have the death of a young 2-year-old girl. So, the idea of her being murdered by the numbers can pretty much be thrown out the window, as far as I'm concerned. I think what we're looking at here is either a completely fake news story that was fabricated by the numbers, or a real-life perfect example of how the eclipse code relates to our real lives. Now, I actually had this story in the Organic Matrix section earlier today, and the more I looked at it and the more things I decoded, I just had a hard time believing that all of this lined up so perfectly. So right now, this is back in my news by the numbers, but it's an interesting story, and we're going to take a look at this and explain how the eclipse code is relevant to this story. So let's dive right in. Now, the first thing that stuck out about this place is how we have the OR code. And a lot of you guys understand by now that this OR code, O the 15th letter, R the 18th letter, you add this up and it's 33. And think about the state Oregon, which is abbreviated OR. That was the 33rd state admitted to the Union. So right off the bat, oh, by the way, OR, the first two letters in orange, the only primary or main color that sums to 33 in reduction. So right off the bat, Orland Square Mall in Orland Park. And, of course, OR, the 33 code. Now, where this really steps up is when you look at the gematria of the headline, which, using the Pythagorean or reduction method, which uses the rules of numerology to drop each double-digit number down to a single digit, you'll see in that method, the headline sums to 330. Again, just like the number 33. Numerology, zeros are dropped. In the reverse alphabetic order, we also get a 390. And think about this, a story about a toddler dying at a mall. The word toddler equals 33 and 39. So it's interesting that the gematria of the headline is exactly 10 times that amount. These numbers are significant. The eclipse code. Eclipse equals 33 and 39. The word masonry, who most of us understand is concocting eclipse rituals behind the scenes, running our mainstream media. Masonry has that 33 and 39 also. Now, in Jewish gematria, the word eclipse equals 192. Look at the name of the girl who is said to have died in this story. The name Alexa Martinez equals 1092, just like 192 of eclipse. What I failed to mention in my post, and I'm now noticing here, is that Alexa Martinez equals 202, reverse. Total solar eclipse equals 202 in ordinal. Before, we looked at the toddler gematria, 33 and 39. Well, in Jewish gematria, we get 263. And this is where it all comes together. 263 is the 56th prime number. And if you measure from this year's total solar eclipse, the first one since 2017, to the date that this girl is said to have died, August 27th, we get exactly 56 days. And then to top this off, and what really put me over the edge as far as whether or not this was real, is that they kept saying a metal display fell on her. And this isn't quoted in the article directly, but I know the police chief said it in his speech, and that's That's on here, I believe, too.
100 pounds each.
Hmm.
They were stacked between 75 and
Just listening to this here.
somehow fell over feet high, carried steel walls, approximately.
Maybe it was the other article. Well, either way, metal display does have exact overlap with total eclipse. And they're saying it was a metal display that fell at the store and fell on her head. So next, we've been looking at Jewish gematria. This is based in the Latin alphabetic order and uses the ancient Hebrew and Greek isopsephy charts to give much larger numbers. The English extended cipher is similar, except it uses the current 26-letter alphabet. And this form of gematria is very significant as well, something else I teach in just about every video. Now, what I noticed is that the phrase total eclipse, this equals 713 in our extended cipher, which of course is a reshuffling of 137. Orland Park, Illinois, in that same cipher, sums to 713, and that's where this whole thing went down. And then, if you believe in the rule of Colel, Orland Square Mall sums to 712. And that was the mall in Orland Park, Illinois, where this happened. The life lesson number of this incident was 47. 8 plus 27 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9. Total eclipse equals 47. We saw this metal display, also 47. This happened in Orland Park, which is 47. And the name of the girl is Martinez, which equals 47. Orland Square, how the mall is labeled, on the outside signs it says Orland Square. That's 470 in primes. And then I was reading the article, and the police chief said, hey, I've been in law enforcement for 47 years. Thought that was pretty interesting. The CNN article then gave us a quote. One of the owners of the store says he was devastated by this tragic event. We are working to collect all the details. Alphabetic order, that sums to 690. The word eclipse equals 69. And the guy who was quoted has nice overlap with the word Freemason. The name of the girl, Alexa Martinez, sums to Orland Park, Illinois when abbreviated, the same values. 59, also the value of accident. And the name Martinez also has overlap with Orland Park, 110, and the 16 digits in reverse. Finally, they told us that although this occurred in Orland Park, Illinois, the girl and her family was from Harvey, Illinois. And you can't help but notice that, here we are as Hurricane Dorian approaches Florida. It's the 2-year anniversary of the landfall of Hurricane Harvey this week. And Harvey and murder both summing to the same. 83 is one of the numbers, of course, shared by those, and I couldn't help but notice that the police chief made it a point to throw that number into his press conference.
2 temporary steel walls.
So let's listen to that as soon as I configure my audio so that you can actually hear it. I think this will work. No. Huh. Oh, come on, computer.
And 3 feet wide. Somehow fell over.
I don't know why I can't get audio. Oh, that's why. The volume key is going to be one of the most important things when you're selecting your audio source. All right.
It appears that 2 temporary steel walls, approximately 8 feet high and 3 feet wide.
Like, why is that detail significant to the story? I mean, they don't have to give us measurements. They can tell us a certain size. A large display would have been enough, but they always have to say numbers in there,
Somehow fell over. The temporary wall dividers weighed between 75 and 100 pounds each. They were stacked next to each other and fell upon the child, causing significant head injuries.
So, I mean, the parallels to the total eclipse code is very, very, they're very clear here. And what do you guys think? Was this story really real? I'm gonna jump in. Ooh, well, yeah, couple people in here. Yeah, I mean, I see this story and I look at the numerology and I just think, man, they're seems like they're lying. And again, what's the purpose of a lie like this? Um, what are they doing? And of course, the name of the game is fear and division. This one, of course, catering to the fear element. Of course, parents, any parent who reads this story, they're going to be a little bit more apprehensive next time they're out at the mall with their child. And maybe that alone is the point. It's a strange, sad world we live in, but that's my theory anyway. So just wanted to share this because I thought the numerology was pretty overwhelming. And I think even news stories like this we need to look at with a closer eye and question what's happening in this reality. All right, everybody. Thanks for popping in. We'll talk to you again shortly. See ya.